Jennifer is a sweetheart that loves one-on-one time. She loves to talk. Let's go and just talk. That's the thing that she asks for a lot. Let's just talk. Are you going to watch Christopher beat Daddy?
From the beginning.
Let's just talk.
From the end.
What are we talking about?
She's very aware of how different she is from other people. And she gets very easily frustrated with the things that she cannot do. If we were to describe who Jennifer really is, our favorite part of the day is at night when we take turns giving her a cuddle, and we actually get in bed with her, have our arms around her, and are just talking. And that's when we get the real Jennifer, and she'll ask us questions, and she's just our little girl. And it's nice. It's nice to know that that's who she is deep down inside, without any of the stuff that the surgery has caused to happen with her body or how she reacts to things. That's who she is, and we like that.
Everything started with what looked like acid reflux, which turned into be infantile spasms. And
I saw it as like the startle reflex that infants have. And I was even asking several of my friends, what is this? Why is she doing that? And it wasn't until she started crying after them that we knew that there was something wrong, and that's when we got our pediatrician involved. They'd say, see if you can videotape it. And so we finally did, and then we brought her in right after Christmas. Come July, she was on the medications that we thought were working, and right after we had a big family picture up in Idaho, everyone's getting ready for the 4th of July, and she's there on the bed, and she has another cluster of them. That was one right there. Okay. And I said, who can lead us somewhere that this is going to work? And we can get our baby back. We can get her onto development, because every time she had seizures, it was like her little computer had to reboot without anything saved.
Today is July 4th of 2004. It's nice to see her smile. She had a series of seizures right before this.
She had started rolling over at a month and a half.
And then she forgot.
The seizures started. She stopped rolling over. So I don't know if she was rolling over at 8 or 9 months.
When we had her originally diagnosed, there had been a new doc that had mentioned something about a PET scan, something about a surgery that can remove that part of her brain that's causing the seizures. And I was thinking something pea-sized, something walnut-sized, something that was making those seizures happen. And I thought, well, where can we go? Let's get a second opinion. And made the appointment right after we got back from Idaho. Not feed me at all. Now she's just barely a year old. They had us there for a weekend and see if she qualifies for surgery. And I said, oh, surgery. But again, I'm still thinking pea-sized, walnut-sized, something minor. And they called us when we got back and said, yes, she definitely qualifies for a hemispherectomy. And I thought that means half. And we didn't really have to reconsider, because we knew that that was the only thing that could really help. The meds weren't working, and there's no other alternative. ENRICH went through the whole process with us. Before we went to surgery, ENRICH was working with Christopher, helping him with physical therapy because he had low tone. And then when Jennifer's development was more notably slower because of the seizures, the damage that happened each time, we had them coming and working with her as well. I loved that we had one person coming in our home. They decided it would be Lisa because PT was the most necessary with Jennifer's progress and development at that point.
And this is pretty typical after her nap time.
The part that struck me was that they always went back to a team of OTs and PTs and speech and psychologists.
Oh, you're reaching for mommy. Let her, just sort of stroke your face.
Or actually bring her arms up to my face.
Yeah, that'd be
nice too.
Yeah. And then you could tell her, oh, mommy's face.
I loved that part of it, because it meant that we didn't have to have lots of people coming and lots of appointments here, but we had the knowledge of all of those. It was fantastic.
Hi. Hello, baby girl.
I remember the house would be in a certain state of cleanliness, and probably the 15 minutes before, we'd get dressed, we'd get everything going, we'd probably
Our house was a lot more clean more often back then. And getting the kids up and ready and getting Jennifer ready and either try to make sure that she was kind of fed or she was ready to eat. I remember it being hard because I did have to have everything ready in the morning. But Lisa never cared what anything looked like. I loved having her here because she had a good relationship with Jen. Jen would respond to her, as well as it was just easy to be. It was easy to be a mom, and I was learning still how to. Aren't we all still learning to be a mom? And
I'm not.
Kirby would come home and he'd come up and do some of your funny feeding scenarios.
Because we didn't know what else to do at the time.
We didn't,
you
and
know.
it was just trying to be entertaining with Jen, but also have her learn, but just kind of your personality.
Anything to encourage the communication, to see what would make Jennifer...
What would make her react, what would make her
Yeah.
respond and
Yeah.
move the way that
And-
she needed to move.
And like for all of us, food is a great motivator.
Maybe we should put some... Oh, I have an idea.
Oh no.
This is for Lisa. Okay, here we go. Oh no, it's all on your hand. Here we go. How about some sweet stuff? I didn't think I was going to be able to come up with anything that would match last year. Okay, here we go. This is some cool things.
Kirby, you're only improvising because you don't have a piece of cheese there.
Yeah. Okay, Jennifer, here we go.
Look at that smile.
Yummy, yummy.
And so you just try different things. What else? There's no book that says, this is Jennifer and this is what you need to do. I remember coming home in the morning from work and having ENRICH come over, and it just seemed part of daily life, things that maybe we didn't know
That's
what to
right.
do, you know, skills that we didn't know about. So it was nice to have people coming into the home.
How much does she usually eat?
2 to 3 jars.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
I loved that they would give us ideas on things or bring up things. I look back on that now and I miss it. I miss all of the suggestions.
Have you ever tried 2 different choices with holding up one jar and then the other jar and seeing if she shows you which one she would rather have?
There were always suggestions of, oh, you could do this, or oh, there's this service that you could check on. There was all of the stuff that just ended up coming into our home. It came into being. That's one of the many things I loved about ENRICH. It just helped to have that experience
Support.
that I didn't have, and it became support.
Experience.
Here's Christopher having a great time abusing Daddy.
One of my memories of the early days with ENRICH and people coming into our homes was, it was just a way of life. Nobody made us feel that we had a real special issue here. It was just life, and we thought it was great. It was more support that we were getting, and we look forward to somebody taking an interest in not just our kids, but our whole family.
They would really focus on all 4 of us, even when all 4 of us weren't there.
Where else does a normal family learn about midline? How to reach across a tray to pick something up or to reach
You
for
don't.
something.
They would be able to help us with the things that were happening that are real life here and now in the home. And ENRICH was there to make whatever the experience was learnable, more learnable.
We try some juice?
A feeding situation. It was not only how is Jen learning how to eat, but how is this going to work with Christopher as well, because he's going to want to eat some of those same things. How does Mom fix these things? How does this work with what can you afford? It was taking me through everything step by step of how to be this mom, how to be what I wanted to be, that wasn't coming natural.
And so I think you had said before that you kind of like to look at the diaper changing routine.
I'd like her to be trying to take things out of my hands. Coaching was my original experience with having someone come in my home. People that were very trained, very knowledgeable in their discipline, to give me the information that they're there to give me. and laugh together at what just happened, or laugh together at an experience that I had.
Would you like more? When you have the child that has special needs, you don't know what you're up against, and then having folks come into the house and stressing, this is what you can do to have fun while you are teaching your children. So it was nice. The visit was a half hour. I don't even remember how long
it was.
It was
an hour, but it didn't seem like it. It was always over sooner than we thought, and it was therapy that didn't seem like therapy.
It was playtime, but it was a lesson time. It was teaching time.
As I look back, ENRICH was part of the family, giving me information that I needed, and it worked. It was good.
We look back, surgery, the whole experience at the hospital was great. That was the easy thing. We can look back from sitting in the car seat to being pushed around in the stroller to scooting around on the floor to walking.
She had just turned 4, and she learned to walk. She walked from Krista, the therapist, to me, and it was so exciting to know that that could be something that she could do. I'd had all of these images of, okay, she's had a right hemispherectomy, so left hemiparesis, so she wasn't going to use the whole left side of her body really, but she does, and she walked, and it was great.
And we haven't been able to stop her from walking to this day. Fast forward, what's life like today? It's a lot harder.
She knows that she's different from the other kiddos her age, and I know that that frustrates her.
We'll go to Costco. She'll hear a loud noise, and we have her with
it's
these
loud at Costco.
with these, we call them cans, but they're the earmuffs that you would wear from hunting, and so she'll wear those, and she'll get frustrated with something, and then she'll go run up to somebody and say, "These people are trying to steal me.
They're not my parents."
They're not my parents."
Which isn't bad for me, because she looks everything like me. But for Daddy, he has to make sure that he's got a student ID or something in his wallet
With
that
Jennifer's
says,
picture.
"Look."
But you have to keep it in perspective. It might be 3 times as hard, and we'll look back to today thinking, you know,
Wow,
oh, that was a
we
piece
really
of
had
cake.
it great then.
Maybe we think that life is a lot tougher now because we don't have our lives enriched continually by having people come into the house. You were saying at the end of the day where it's just the Jennifer cuddle time, she loves that period of time. One of the other things that we've noticed that we've taken a lot of comfort in when it's Jennifer's turn to say family prayer, it's like she has an open line to deity,
Straight to
and
deity.
you feel like you are kneeling on hallowed ground, and who am I to interfere with this, and you wish it would just go on forever. Because it blows you away. And we sometimes think that we are just the caretakers for a temporary period of time, and what a great gift we've been entrusted with. And so there are these little bits of time where we
Find out the real Jennifer.
the real Jennifer, and other people sometimes get to experience that as well. A lot of times people see us how frazzled we are, but the ones who take time to get to know Jennifer, they get a little glimpse of that as well. And it's
good.
She's been a real blessing. You know, she's a good girl. Wouldn't trade our kids for anybody.